What's up, everybody? It is November 27th, Wednesday. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Um, what are you thankful for? There's got to be, even if you don't feel grateful or thankful, there's always something to be grateful for. Um, yeah, I have my days where I don't feel grateful for anything. Um, my boo-hoo days is what I call them. Today's a good day. I got 104 days sober today, plugging right along, man, through the good and the bad days. Um, and for me, what that looks like is structure. I thrive in structured environments, jail, institutions, uh, anything of the sort with rules and consequences. I do well. Um, I don't know why. Maybe because when left to my own devices, I screw things up. I make poor choices. Um, and there's a lot that I do wrong. I started drinking and using drugs at a very young age, at 13, 14. Drinking, I got kind of a late start. I didn't start till I was 10. And so mentally, I didn't grow up, I guess, like my fellow classmates and normal people, and what have you. So, uh, I don't know, man. I look back and try to reflect a lot on what went wrong in my life, what led me to the place I'm at today. And I don't have any answers. I really don't. Was that God's will? I don't know. Was it His plan for me to go through everything that I've gone through to be where I'm at today? And for what reason? Is it to help other people? I don't know. Um, I certainly try to today. I certainly try to. That's why I started doing this. Um, Actually, no, why I started doing this was I was alone and I was addicted and I wanted to quit so bad and I needed someone to talk to. And so I picked up my phone and started recording and uploaded it. And the support and the compassion and the love I got from you guys kept feeding it, man. It gave me the motivation to want to quit even more than I already had. You guys have done so much for me. It's not even funny. I can't put it into words. And then when I first tried to detox, man, you guys were right there, you know, talking about if you were there, you'd hold my hand and wipe the sweat from my forehead and, just take care of me or you would offer me to come stay on your property and get better. Like, you guys have done more for me than anybody in my life, emotionally and mentally. And I'm forever grateful for that. Now, today, not being in treatment, I'm in a men's clean and sober house, a recovery house, which is great because there's rules, there's accountability, there's consequences, right? I have to go to a minimum of 2 meetings a week. I go to like 4 or 5 or 6 a week. Um, we have daily chores, we have a curfew, we have a quiet time, we have rules regarding how many days of the week we can leave or have company over. Um, Accountability, you know what I mean? If we don't do these certain things, we're on either a blackout, a contract, or we get fined, right? So um, that's the kind of environment that I do well in. And now that I'm in this home and not in jail or a treatment center, I need a new design for living. And that's a part of our literature that we read in the big book. For me, it's a design for living. It's how I structure my day. It's how I try to every day. I'm not perfect. It's how I try to structure my day. It's how I try to think. It's how I try to live, pretty much. And I'm going to read a couple pages out of the book. This is what I typically try to read every single morning after I pray and have my coffee. And it kind of just reminds me to not be a dick. And to do the best I can, to be kind, to be loving, tolerant, um, and so forth. I'm only on the fourth step. This in the book talks about step 10 or 11, which you don't have to be that far ahead really to do it. It's all about prayer and meditation and, doing the next right thing. So, and also, before I read it, I've been throwing other videos up here, ones that I'm able to. Some I've had permission for. I'm still learning the rules on that. I'm never going to stop doing these videos. I just do that so news stuff, current event type stuff, funny stuff, news and body cam stuff, that's all public stuff. So I try to throw some other things in there, but it's not taking over the channel by any means. It's just extra stuff to watch, to enjoy, whatever. But like I said, I'll never stop doing this. This is my main thing. Because the reason I continued to do it after treatment was to try to help the next struggling addict or alcoholic. Because God forbid you wind up like me, And I hope you young ones and kids, if you watch this, can take note, man. It can happen to you. When I was a little boy, I never dreamed that I would become a heroin addict or a fentanyl addict or an alcoholic or a meth addict or a crack addict. None of that stuff, man. In my idea, an alcoholic or a heroin addict was the guy in the trench coat behind a dumpster with a brown paper bag. That was an alcoholic to me. Or a heroin addict was the guy that was, nodding off on the street corner, living in a cardboard box. I never in a million years thought that it could be me. That's not what I wanted to be when I grew up. But due to my poor decisions and circumstances and choices I made, I wound up being just that. And I watched that Injecting Hope video I uploaded. I don't know how I feel about the injection sites yet. I can see both sides of it. But watching that documentary was tough for me. It was showing people shoot up. It was showing people smoke meth. It got my leg bouncing up and down a little bit. Not craving it because I was watching the lifestyle and I was thinking, holy shit, man. I was once there. I used to be there. And I am just one bad decision away from being right back there. And I don't want that anymore today. I don't, man. I have a great relationship with my kids, my mom again. I'm going there today for Thanksgiving tomorrow. I don't want to go back to that life, man. I don't. I'm through with it. I'm done with it. I fuck up enough in sobriety. I don't need to add that mess. Yesterday I backed up one of my housemates' trucks. Tom, the guy I drive around, I backed up his fucking truck into a tree in the center of our driveway. We have a big gravel driveway, and I backed right into it. Boom! Out goes the back window to his canopy. So, yeah. Luckily, he was okay with it. He laughed about it, but I fucked it up. I need to replace it. But anyway, so let me just share with you what I read, guys, if you don't mind. And this is from the Big Books of Alcoholics Anonymous, page 84. All right. It says, this thought brings us to step 10, which suggests we continue to take personal inventory and continue to set right any new mistakes as we go along. We vigorously commence this way of living as we cleaned up the past. We have entered the world of the spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for our lifetime. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately, and we make amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. Then we resolutely turn our thoughts to somebody we could help. Love and tolerance of others is our code. So it's saying that we've entered a spiritual existence now. You know what I mean? We put away the drugs and alcohol. Now we need to live right. Okay? And it's not an overnight matter, like it says. It's we stay sober. It's a daily thing for us, forever. And as soon as we stop and take back control, we're back to our old ways. And we do continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear because those things will keep us sick. Those four things, and for me anyway, I don't want any of those in my life anymore. I don't want resentments. I don't want fear. I have a healthy fear of like snakes, you know what I mean? That will never go away. I don't care how many steps I do. My fear of snakes will never go away or subside. I promise you on everything. Dishonesty. I don't want to be dishonest anymore, and I'm not. I'm an honest person today because I'm not doing shit that I need to lie about, so I don't have to be dishonest. Selfishness. Now that's a tough one. I'm a selfish person, just like all other addicts and alcoholics, and this is a selfless program for selfish people. It teaches us to be selfless, which I try to be today. In sobriety, I'm far more selfless than I am selfless. Selfless than I am selfish. Okay? And make amends quickly if we've harmed anybody. We know what's right and wrong, people. If we hurt somebody's feelings, if we say something wrong or shitty to somebody, if we cut somebody off in traffic, we know it's fucked up and wrong. You know, apologize. It don't take much. You know, it doesn't make you a bitch or it doesn't make you weak. Excuse my language, by the way. It doesn't make you weak by apologizing. It doesn't, man. It makes you feel better. I mean, do you want to be known as a dirtbag or just a bully or, you know, shit like that? No. And then we resolutely turn our thoughts to somebody we can help. Love and tolerance of others is our code. That is our code. I love you. I love everybody. I'm not so tolerant of everybody, but I'm working on it. Okay. Next part. And we have ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol. For by this time sanity will have returned. We will seldom be interested in liquor. If tempted, we recoil from it as from a hot flame. We react sanely and normally. We will find that this has happened automatically. We will see that our new attitude toward liquor has been given us without any thought or effort on our part. It just comes. That is the miracle of it. We are not fighting it. Neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though we had been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. We have not even sworn it off. Instead, the problem has just been removed. It does not exist for us. We are neither cocky nor are we afraid. That is our experience. That is how we react so long as we keep in fit spiritual condition. That is the key word. Keep in fit spiritual condition, right? And then we are safe and protected. We're not fighting the temptation or avoiding it. The desire just goes away. It really does. You work these steps, you open your mind and be willing to do things you didn't want to do before, you're going to get results you've never got before. And the problem will be removed. I promise you. I swear. 104 days sober off of heroin, fentanyl, meth, everything. That's not just nothing. You know what I mean? That's something. And that's something to me. And it's something to any of you. Even if you have a day or 3 days or whatever. Right? It says, it is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels. We are headed for trouble if we do, for alcohol is a subtle foe. We are not cured of alcoholism. What we really have is a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. Every day is a day we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activities. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. These are thoughts which must go with us constantly. We can exercise our willpower along this line all we wish. but it is the proper use of the will. Much has already been said about receiving strength, inspiration, and direction from Him who has all knowledge and power. If we have carefully followed directions, we have begun to sense the flow of His Spirit into us. To some extent, we have become God conscious. We have begun to develop this vital sixth sense, but we must go further, and that means more action. So you can come into this program not believing in God, not believing in nothing, right? Come in here an atheist, an agnostic, whatever. But guaranteed, when you get to this point, you will then be God conscious, if not more. You will see that there's a higher power, and you'll see it working in your life. No joke. You know, when I first came into this program, I thought it was hokey. I thought it was a cult. I thought it was this. I thought it was that. I thought these people were weirdos, and I didn't know what they wanted from me. I thought it was all a big scam, right? I thought there's, because on TV, you see just a dark, a dimly lit room, and you see just a circle of chairs, and everybody's sitting in the chairs just rocking back and forth, looking miserable, boo-hooing about their drinking. That's what I thought it was. Man, it's so not. You walk into these rooms, you feel light, you feel love, you feel hope again, and you hear your story. When you think you're special and unique and this stuff doesn't apply to you, you go into these rooms and you hear someone speak and you're thinking, damn, he's went through the same shit I went through, Even somebody with 10 years or 10 days, it doesn't matter. It's truly a miracle how this shit works. Every part of it, man. Every part of it. So, more action. Step 11 suggests prayer and meditation. We shouldn't be shy on this matter of prayer. Better men than we are using it constantly. It works if we have the proper attitude and work at it. It would be easy to be vague about this matter. Yet, we believe we can make some definite and valuable suggestions. So this is when I talked about the design for living, right? This is how I do my day, my evening and my morning, okay? And the prayer. This is kind of what helps get me through the day. When we retire at night, we constructively review our day. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Do we owe an apology? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Were we kind and loving toward all? What could we have done better? Were we thinking of ourselves most of the time, or were we thinking of what we could do for others, of what we could pack into the stream of life? But we must be careful not to drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection, for that would diminish our usefulness to others. After making our review, we ask God's forgiveness and inquire what corrective measures should be taken. So at night, right, before my head hits the pillow, I think about what could I have done better? Who did I hurt? Who did I lie to, if anybody? I typically don't. Was I angry, resentful? Was I scared of something? What was it? And then I pray and ask God's forgiveness, man, and ask to make me better. Help me figure out what I did wrong, what I did right, and help me improve on it, right? That's what I do at night. In the mornings now, on awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, that's the key word, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. Under these conditions, we can employ our mental faculties with assurance, for after all, God gave us brains to use. Our thought life will be placed on a much higher plane when our thinking is cleared of wrong motives. In thinking about our day, we may face indecision. We may not be able to determine which course to take. Here is where we ask God for inspiration, an intuitive thought, or a decision. We relax and take it easy. We don't struggle. We are often surprised how the right answers come after we have tried this for a while. What used to be the hunch or the occasional inspiration gradually becomes a working part of the mind. Being still inexperienced and having just made conscious contact with God, it is not probable that we are going to be inspired at all times. We might pay for this presumption in all sorts of absurd actions and ideas. Nevertheless, we find that our thinking will, as time passes, be more and more on the plane of inspiration. We come to rely on it. That's what I do in the morning. That's my prayer, pretty much. God, direct my motives. Help me be honest. Help me be useful, helpful. Show me your will, not mine. I don't always know what his will is, but I know what his will isn't. And that's for me to go out and use or drink or be a dick or just be rude, be a liar, all that stuff. And once you train your mind to do these things and to clear it all of wrong motives, if you're helping somebody out just for the pats on the back or for the attaboys, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons, right? The reward is in it of itself. You will get just the feel good you feel for helping somebody should be reward enough. Just knowing that you did something big or small to make that person's life a little bit better for the day, for the week, whatever. That is a great feeling, for me anyway. We usually conclude the period of meditation with a prayer that we be shown all through the day what our next step is to be, that we be given whatever we need to take care of such problems. We ask especially for freedom from self-will and are careful to make no requests for ourselves only. We may ask for ourselves, however, if others will be helped. We are careful never to pray for our own selfish ends. Many of us have wasted a lot of time doing that, and it doesn't work. You can easily see why. If circumstances warrant, we ask our wives or friends to join us in morning meditation. If we belong to a religious denomination which requires a definite morning devotion, we attend to that also. If not members of religious bodies, we sometimes select and memorize a few set prayers which emphasize the principles we have been discussing. There are many helpful books also. Suggestions about these may be obtained from one's priest, minister, or rabbi. Be quick to see where religious people are right. Make use of what they offer. Okay, now the next part is huge for me. Maybe for a lot of us too, okay? I don't know about you, but I get agitated and I get annoyed like people do. As we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful and ask for the right thought or action. We constantly remind ourselves that we are no longer running the show, humbly saying to ourselves many times each day, "Thy will be done." We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, or foolish decisions. We become much more efficient. We do not tire so easily, for we are not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. It works. It really does. We alcoholics are undisciplined, so we let God discipline us in the simple way we have just outlined. But this is not all. There's action and more action. Faith without works is dead. The next chapter is entirely devoted to step 12. So, I'm not perfect, but I do my best to read those pages every morning. I don't know why. It does what it does to me, but the mornings I don't are the mornings I have a horrible day. But when I pray and I read those pages out of this book and I try to honestly live by it, my day goes smoother, more positive, and I get more accomplished. So anyway, that's enough rambling out of me today. I love you guys. I can't thank you enough. I'm going to start going live a bit more often and do some readings with you guys if you want to. Just something for us to do together. So anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for another day keeping me sober, and I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And yeah, love y'all.